Trendy and cheap, inexpensive and cute. What's not to love? Well, turns out the clothes we as consumers buy aren't as cute as we think they are. When I learned that the equivalent of one garbage truck of textiles is burned or landfilled every second, I realized I needed to investigate the fast fashion industry. To learn more, I decided to speak to an expert. I'm on my way to meet Kelly Drennan from Fashion Takes Action. I'm Saara from CBC Kids News.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So Kelly, for someone who has no idea what fast fashion is, can you explain a little bit about it?
Well, the best way to think about fast fashion is actually if you think about fast food. So it's cheap, accessible, and really isn't good for you. It's fashion that's being made very cheaply. Very often. No longer do we have 2 seasons, we now have 52 seasons. A lot of brands put out new clothes every week. And then because the stuff is so cheap and also because it falls apart, we actually end up buying more. In fact, we buy 60% more clothes today than we did 20 years ago, and we only keep them for half as long.
What is the true impact of fast fashion on our environment?
It's a pretty major impact in terms of the entire fashion industry. It's one of the top polluters in the world. As I mentioned, toxic chemicals that are used from growing cotton, using the pesticides to grow the cottons, to the dyes and the finishing chemicals that go on our clothing. That impacts the water, it impacts the human health of the workers, the energy and the carbon that comes from the shipping and transportation of our clothes. And then, of course, there's the waste factor, and that's huge. Because we're consuming so much, our landfills are filling up with fashion.
Do you think that the fast fashion craze is in decline?
Well, I think that thrift fashion is on the rise. It's your generation, it's the young future generations really where there's a lot of opportunity to really flip or disrupt the current fashion model, and thrift has a comeback. It's cool again, it's fun to do, and it's always great to find that awesome treasure.
Thrifting is something that has gained a lot of popularity among kids my own age. But is it really possible to find used clothing that fits right? Well, there's only one way to find out.
I'm Stuart Scriver. I am one of the founders of Courage My Love. It's a family business. We've been in business this year 44 years.
Why did you decide to open a vintage clothing store?
There was too much stuff and people were throwing things out. We stocked the whole store from stuff that people discarded.
Did you know at the time in the 70s that recycling was beneficial for the environment?
Well, that was why we started. It was that there was so much stuff and it needed to be used. And we could sell it and we could have a business. All the advertising isn't meant to do anything except turn you into a hungry shopper. It's not meant to satisfy you. It's meant to keep you hungry, thinking even if you don't need something, you always feel like you have to go shopping.
To hear the other side of the story, I wanted to speak to H&M, a brand known for its mass-produced clothing. We weren't able to get an on-camera interview, but they were kind enough to respond via email. So H&M did respond to all my questions. They are trying to become 100% climate positive by 2040. 2040 is very far away, so we'll see how that goes. So I asked H&M what they're going to do in order to decrease their negative ecological footprint. And they said in 2018, we collected 20,649 tons of textiles for reuse and recycling through our garment collecting initiative. That's 16% more than 2017 and represents the equivalent of 103 million t-shirts. So today I learned that fast fashion is cheaply priced and produced clothing that is pumped through stores quickly in order to maximize current fashion trends. And I tried an alternative to fast fashion shopping today by going thrifting, which I really enjoyed. But thrifting and secondhand clothing isn't for everyone. So if you don't want to go thrifting, try repurposing your own clothes or reusing them and recycling them. If nothing changes by 2050, the fashion industry will take up 25% of the world's carbon budget. So I think it's our responsibility as consumers to just buy responsibly and buy less overall. For CBC Kids News, I'm Saara Chaudry.